The Traditional Arts Workshop Series started in 2014. The American Indian College Fund came up with this grant opportunity for revitalizing endangered arts through tribal colleges.
Hello, my name is Holly Young. I am a full-time and self-taught artist. I'm originally from Standing Rock, and I am currently teaching a ledger art class here in Sisseton. The one aspect I like about ledger art is you can kind of just do what you want. It's a way of storytelling, whatever story you want to tell, or whatever you're feeling, you can put that into your ledger art and kind of explain. It's a way of it's kind of therapeutic in a way. If you're having a hard time or there's some kind of situation going on, you can tell that through ledger art. Well, I really I enjoy going to different communities and connecting with the students and the people in that class. They surprise themselves, and they're actually really talented.
Today we're making breastplates, and we're doing both male and female breastplates that our people used to wear a long time ago. And even though today these things are still being worn by a lot of our people, what I'm interested in is teaching kind of more of the cultural significance behind those. And for both male and female, these breastplates would represent protection. So teaching our young people to be able to continue to wear these and to make them. So I'd just like to share a little bit about that. Henana Pekte.
My name is Jacobson. I am from Prairie Island, Minnesota, and I am here at the Sisseton Wahpeton College, and I am here teaching a workshop on Dakota pucker toe moccasins. I am here in partnership with the Minnesota Historical Society, as I'm an artist in residence with them, and I'm also here courtesy of the American Indian College Fund, and we're here learning how to make moccasins, cut out the patterns, and learn about the history of our Dakota people as woodland people. The thing that I really like to take away from all the workshops I've done is the joy that people get when they finish a pair of moccasins. Older people encouraging me and giving me encouraging words about what I'm doing with revitalizing this style of footwear. And the fact they recognize that it's stuff that needs to be brought back. Because it has been sort of lost in our communities for so long.
My name is Laverne Whitebear. I come from the Fort Peck-Assiniboine Sioux tribe up in northeastern Montana. And today I'm going to talk about traditional Dakota quill work. I've been doing it for about 10 and a half years, something like that, give or take a couple years. I was introduced to it by Margaret Campbell. She's from the Fort Belknap Assiniboine tribe up in Montana also. That's our sister reservation. She introduced it to me 10 years ago or so. I just have been working on it over time, have acquired about 6, different stitches. I got into it because I wanted to learn how to do this, because I didn't know how to bead, and I thought it would just be a better idea for me to learn how to quill. Being that was our first way of Native people, I just took it from there. Traditional quill work is an endangered art form. I feel that it is in a dire situation. I know less than 10 individuals who have knowledge of this art form. I think that it's an important thing for our people to learn how to embrace. A lot of the time, people will say, after they learn that I do quill work, they'll say, I don't have the patience for that. I can't sit still for that long. And you know, I tell them that if you want it bad enough, you know, you can do this. Thought that it was too tedious for myself, but after trying time and time again, I was able to get better over time. Workshops like this are able to reach many people, because the hope is that these people after they gain just the knowledge of the one stitch, that they can go home and they can share it with their grandchildren, their husband, their wife, you know, and they can learn how to do this, you know, on their own time and in their own space, and hopefully they stick with it.
Destiny del Demie, Sisseton Wahpeton College, Nishto Incorporated. One of the reasons why I do youth workshops is I'm a big believer in that the younger our people are, as we teach them the different skills and types of knowledge, the better prepared they are when they're adults. Imagine being our age and already knowing all of these things that a lot of us are just now learning, because a lot of these different art forms are coming back. Sometimes the youth aren't always included when there's different kinds of opportunities that come into the community. Things are usually focused on prevention or intervention, and the fun parts of learning kind of get left behind. We have young artists in the community. So the fact that the American Indian College Fund and the Sisseton Wahpeton College is providing these types of workshops to our youth, it's making a big impact on them in so many different ways. Creating a confident child makes their world so much bigger. The world becomes their fishbowl. Sometimes they're scared to leave the reservation, or they're scared to leave home. And these types of things show them firsthand that, you know, they have the ability to do pretty much anything they want to do. You know, it's real to them.
My name is Joe Gaigo. My Lakota name is Wakia Hegeleshka. I'm from the Oglala people. I live in Pine Ridge, South Dakota. I've been making bows for over 10 years. I'm self-taught. I never had a formal teacher to sit down and teach me. I had a lot of encouragement from, you know, respected elders and relatives that encouraged me along the way. And I enjoy teaching others because I think it's important for them to have this type of information and accessibility to, and it also ties back to their identity and their culture and who we are as Dakota and Lakota people. And I enjoy teaching, and I enjoy making bows.
My name is Randy Lynn Boucher. My Dakota name is Redbird Woman. I am from here in Sisseton and Santee. My mother is Dana, and she's from Big Mountain in Hard Rock, Arizona. Started to do a lot of the traditional arts when I was younger. I was probably about 12 years old when I first started beading, and just kind of expanded from there. I like to think I learned a lot from watching and observing and really looking at our historical items and collections. I think that the people who I would say taught me was from the very beginning, like of the process and like gathering your materials. Like my uncle Julian taught me how to tan hides when I was like 10 years old. And I appreciate that, because that's like the basis of anything that you make, is having good brain tanned leather. And that was, he was one of my mentors at a very early age, even though I didn't know he was being my mentor. And then I've actually had help from Laverne on doing quill work, and different techniques and methods from her. So I'm grateful to her for that. I think a lot of the other things I've created have just kind of been, it's almost like I look at it and I know what I want to make and I just make it.
Mitakiapi, Erin Griffin, and Makie. Westerman Michoanji Kin Himataha, Sisseton Wahpeton College, Hatawani. I am Erin Griffin. I'm the Director of Dakota Studies at Sisseton Wahpeton College, and I'm from the Westerman family. The Traditional Arts Workshop Series started in 2014. The American Indian College Fund came up with a grant opportunity for revitalizing endangered arts through tribal colleges. And I just happened to get the announcement from one of the administrators here, and they said, you should apply for this. And I remember being kind of frustrated with the whole grant process when it first started, but I did it. And I decided that the first art that we would do would be pottery, because people didn't know that Dakota people did pottery. We were that far removed from it. So that was the very first workshop that we did, and it was a 3-part workshop. It spanned over an entire year, where we did the harvesting of the clay, the processing of it, the making the pottery, and then firing it. The turnaround of those workshops when they first started was pretty quick. I think it was 3 or 4 months for every grant period. So I had to write the grant, administer the workshop, and then report on it, and then turn around and write another one, so we could keep it going and keep introducing arts. And eventually, over time, the time period started to increase. But since then, we've brought, I can't even remember how many arts we've brought here, but we've done pottery and bow making, hide tanning, buffalo hide tanning, cradle making, flute making. And all of these arts that we bring are focused on endangered arts, things that people in our community don't really do anymore, or a lot of. And we only offer the arts one time, because the intent is that the people that come to this workshop now have this knowledge, and we hope that they will then share this knowledge throughout the community so that it will spread. It was slow seeing it start to where people were sharing, but we're starting to see that increase quite a bit, where people are even taking it into schools and teaching others. Also through this program, we've had a few apprenticeships, and we also now have an Indigenous Visionaries Women's Leadership Program that's a fellowship program that's tied to this program as well, to help women develop in the arts. The workshops close almost immediately. I remember the first time, I think the first time that happened was, it was either bow making or hide tanning. We closed the workshop within 2 hours, because it was just an influx of people wanting to get in. And unfortunately, we do have to put people on waiting lists. I think the desire and the need for it go hand in hand, and they're growing. I'm really grateful to the American Indian College Fund for making this opportunity available to us. Bringing the arts into programming here at Sisseton Wahpeton College has helped the Dakota Studies program grow enormously over the last 6-7 years. Everything that's going on here within our programming started with the arts. It started to come alive when we brought the arts here. And so now we have archives, we have a tribal arts certificate program, we have a really large language program, and it all started with art.